Winter weather can mean crisp bluebird days or deep cold with strong winds, and everything in between. Today we talk about how I change my upper body base layer and mid layer combinations based on variable winter conditions. Hi there, I'm Jason. Where I live in Colorado, I've been out in the backcountry in the middle of winter on days that hit high temperatures in the 50s Fahrenheit, and I've been out in minus 35 with even colder wind chill. When winter weather comes, I'm always going to have my big puffy jacket to keep me warm when I stop to rest or belay my partner, and year-round I carry a shell jacket for protection from precipitation and high wind. So what makes up the difference on my upper body layers between these higher temp and low temp days? Well, it's how I mix and match my base layer and mid layer. Here are 4 of my most common winter base layer mid layer combinations to match my clothing to the conditions of the day. For a typical winter day, I will almost always have my base layer and mid layer on all day and never take them off. But for those warmer winter days, I need to be prepared to take the mid layer off. So that means if I may go down to 1 layer, I need a way to cover my head to provide some sun protection from any reflection off the snow. This is when I will wear a standard sun shirt. I've been really happy with this Simms Solar Flex hoodie. I'm emphasizing moisture wicking over warmth here, as I don't want to freeze when I stop if it's been so warm that I've broken a sweat. The mid layer then needs to be full zip so that I can easily get it on and off throughout the day. I've had this first generation Eddie Bauer First Descent Cloud Layer fleece jacket for over a dozen years. It stood up to all kinds of abuse, and it has that chest pocket that I so covet on whatever layer is the outermost that I have on. When it's consistently below freezing, but not necessarily deeply so, I now need to think about that base layer being something that can provide some real insulation and is not just limited to moisture wicking. So I'll move into something like this Patagonia R1 pullover hoodie. It obviously has a hood to make tailoring heat loss from my head super simple, but it also has a grid pattern fleece that is designed to keep the outer fabric up off my skin, keeping a layer of insulating air between me and the outside. Combining with a standard fleece mid layer that still may come off from time to time is typical, so the same Eddie Bauer cloud layer is okay. But what if it's well below freezing? Now I need to think about both the base layer and the mid layer never coming off. In fact, I want to be able to tuck them both into my pants to keep any gaps of cold air from blasting my waist. So now the grid pattern fleece of the R1 hoodie is joined by another pullover. And the big design feature for this is I don't want hand warming pockets on the pullover. I don't want the bulk and uncomfortableness around my waist when tucked into my pants. I've been using this Outdoor Vitals Ventus hoodie. I've been really happy with how this new piece flexes when I move, and it seems to be able to run a wide temperature range. And they've added an internal mesh pocket accessed through the pullover zip to save the weight and bulk of an extra zipper. Then there are the expedition-like conditions where the cold is attacking you. That's when I want both my base layer and mid layer to produce maximal loft, create that insulating dead air space between me and the outside, as well as between the layers themselves. The base layer is the Patagonia Capilene Air Crew. Besides being woven to loft, the wool polyester blend yarn is actually lofted itself even before being woven. The result is a lot of trapped air, and it is by far the warmest base layer I have ever owned. The downside is that it's pretty easy to create pulls in this fabric, so I only wear it on days the mid layer, sitting over it, won't ever come off, and it is therefore protecting it. So back to the R1, but now as a mid layer. That grid fleece on top of the lofted yarn of the Air Crew make quite a combination of loft in just 2 garments. The more I do this stuff, the more I learn what works for me, so mixing and matching my layering systems helps me dial in for the day's conditions. Since you made it this far, all the way to the end of the video, please hit that like button, ring that bell, and subscribe. Check out our website at shortguysbetaworks.com to find gear lists, all of our videos, and additional thoughts and information. Do you have a favorite Baselayer Midlayer combination? Let us know in the comments. Until next week, keep on getting more out of that big outside.